Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Crypt Finder. So, I've been in this whole series about made-for-TV horror and thriller films, things that I feel like have been sort of hidden gems that have gotten lost over time. Well, the one I want to cover tonight, it's not an obscure movie. This is one of the most famous made-for-TV movies of all time, and I would say it's certainly one of the best. It might be the best. Some of it has to do with the legendary director associated with it. It might seem like an unconventional choice, I guess, at first, because again, it's not the traditional sort of horror film, but oh boy, does this particular one deserve quite a spotlight here, because it's got a truckload full of suspense and psychological thrills to it. From 1971, we're going to take a look at Steven Spielberg's classic made-for-TV movie, Duel. This one stars Dennis Weaver. He will, of course, be really remembered for his role as Chester on Gunsmoke, a role he made distinctly his own. He won an Emmy in 1959 for it as a Best Supporting Actor. But he was also in the series McCloud, which resulted in 2 nominations for Emmys, and he starred in a very good made-for-TV ghost story. It's called Don't Go to Sleep from 1982. Here he delivers just a knockout performance. He plays a guy named David Mann. He's just a regular Joe. He's driving across a very isolated part of the desert. He's on his way to a business appointment. And suddenly this very routine journey becomes just a heart-pounding ordeal when he is met with a 1955 Peterbilt big rig that's being driven by an unknown, mysterious driver who seems intent on playing a very intense game of cat and mouse. This was adapted from a short story by Richard Matheson, and if you've been watching my channel before and you've seen a lot of my videos, you're probably sick to death of hearing this man's name. But Richard Matheson, he was just a master storyteller. He knew how to craft a very thrilling sort of story. He would just hook you and then just reel you in. So remember, the character's name is David Mann, M-A-N-N. So this turns into a literal and metaphorical man versus machine scenario. And on the surface, that all seems very deceptively simple. But here's why I think that Duel is so interesting and so unsettling. Now, before I get into it, I've just got to say there have been tons of different analysis of this film online. You can certainly go out there and watch any of them that you want. I'm going to approach it as I've approached any of these made-for-TV movies. Yes, I know that they are decades removed from the here and now, but I always approach them as if you've never seen them, you've never heard of them before. So I always want to just lay out a little bit of the plot and then kind of give you a little bit about what's going on with the characters and who they are and where you might know them from, and then let you decide if you want to go and see them yourself, so there won't be any spoilers. But there's just no way that I can talk about this movie without also talking about a very parallel movie that Steven Spielberg directed, called Jaws. So, yep, I've got to talk about that in conjunction with this film because they share a lot of similarities. First up is the atmospheric suspense. Spielberg was just 24 years old when he masterfully made this film. He uses the empty, rugged desert landscape as a background to create a sense of isolation and vulnerability. Those vast open spaces really heighten the tension, making the looming threat of the truck even more palpable. You never know when that truck is suddenly going to appear. And just like the third half of Jaws, floating in a boat out in the middle of the ocean without any sense of help or rescue, and knowing that there is something swimming, lurking just below you, same type of tension. And in Duel, the film's minimalist setting actually amplifies the tension of being hunted down in a very cold, unfeeling, almost alien kind of environment. Next is the sort of unseen menace here. The truck driver remains just a shadowy, anonymous figure throughout this film. This unknown, faceless antagonist adds to the eerie tension as the viewer and David Mann never truly understands the motives or the identity of the pursuer. The focus is more on the truck, and there are plenty of POV shots from the truck's vantage point, just like the shark in Jaws, where it's going to amplify the terror of what we can't know that's lurking all around us. The vehicle's size and its design really contributes to its role as an almost supernatural antagonist. And again, this is not unlike that shark in that movie. What's it called again? Oh, yeah, Jaws, because it goes against normal shark behavior. It develops a kind of relentlessness. It won't stop. It just keeps coming with more and more aggressive behavior. The film also delves into sort of the psychological horror because man's psychological state is really ramped up. He's trying to rationalize what's happening. He's trying to escape the relentless pursuit, and his internal monologues are increasingly desperate, making the viewers experience his mounting fear and his helplessness throughout the movie. We are in that hot, sweaty car with him, sweating it out. Spielberg's direction and the film's cinematography is really, really nice here. Even though the landscape is harsh and almost limitless, Spielberg uses tight, intense, claustrophobic camera work to immerse viewers in that sort of high stakes chase. The sense of being trapped and constantly threatened are certainly being amplified due to all the visual techniques. It's keeping the audience very much on edge. Hard to believe, but this was shot in only 11 days. It was shot actually in and around a lot of communities in Canyon Country and Agua Dulce and Acton in Los Angeles County. And it's just a testament to Spielberg's storytelling ability and his style that he could get it done that quickly and end up with these kind of results. Another factor that makes it really interesting is the legacy. Duel is credited with establishing Spielberg as a master of suspense and paving the way for a lot of his future successes. This film's effectiveness in creating tension from such a straightforward scenario is really a testament to Spielberg's directorial prowess. Duel was released as a made-for-TV movie, of course, but it quickly gained a lot of acclaim, mainly for its cinematic sort of style. Spielberg had already directed a segment of the made-for-TV movie Night Gallery, and this was just before it became a series. The episode was called Eyes with Joan Crawford, and he even came back to do another episode once Night Gallery turned into a series. But this segment, which was entitled Make Me Laugh, didn't go as well. Spielberg actually wanted to do the entire 11-minute segment all in one take, and the executives apparently just hated that idea. This was just sort of a normal, formulaic sort of show, and that was not what they were expecting from it. So even when I see this particular episode, I have no idea if anything that we see is something that Spielberg shot, or if ultimately they just brought in another director and reshot the entire thing. He did helm a terrific episode of Columbo called Murder by the Book with one of my favorite recurring actors, making another villainous turn on that series, Jack Cassidy. Spielberg's skillful direction helped elevate Duel sort of beyond the normal made-for-TV fare. It was released theatrically in Europe and was very successful, and so all of that just kind of helped cement the fact that Spielberg was quickly becoming a master of suspense. The film's music is composed by Billy Goldenberg. It's subtle but very effective. It uses a lot of sort of minimalistic themes and dissonant tones and everything to achieve this. And then the sound effects of the truck itself, the sort of grinding and churning of the engine and the ominous those of sound effects really adds to the film's overall sense of dread. This is, of course, a precursor to Spielberg's later works, but it clearly showcases his ability, even at such a young age, to turn everyday situations into compelling, edge of your seat experiences. The film's impact on the thriller genre, yeah, it's still felt today. Duel might lean more toward, I guess, intense action than any sort of creepiness, but the film's ability to evoke fear through isolation, through the unknown threat, through the psychological tension of being hunted makes it a real standout entry in the realm of suspense. So, if you're ready for a thrilling, edge of your seat experience with a touch of psychological terror, Duel is a must watch. Buckle your seatbelts up, though. Its ability to create a sense of dread and isolation is unparalleled. Those long desert shots of mountains and scrub grass make for some very intense moments while a truck barrels down on Dennis Weaver's car. It's just a masterful way of crafting a made-for-TV movie. Simple premise, small cast, not any really flashy sort of special effects, just the ability to continue to dial up the level of fear and anxiety. That's going to do it for right now, everybody. I hope if you've seen the movie before, it's absolutely worth a rewatch. If you've never seen it before, I hope you go and seek it out. And please let us know down in the comments what you think about Duel. And please hit the like and subscribe button, and then that way you'll always be notified as I continue this series on sort of distant, long forgotten, made for TV movies, and also a few other things. Sometimes I'll do reviews of just some older standalone horror films, and also I'll do some rankings as well. And I don't want you to miss out on any of them. So until next time, everyone, stay curious and stay scared.